Hey everybody, welcome to the shop again, the Metal Mill 52 shop. As you can see, I'm kind of bundled up. It's cold here. It's going down to about freezing tonight, and my shop is not heated, so I'm bundled up to stay toasty warm, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time out here tonight anyway. But I did want to share something with you. First of all, let me thank you again. I mean, gosh, in the last couple of days, I think we've picked up close to 100 subscribers, and Mark Pressling and all his friends have joined and made a bunch of nice comments. So I really appreciate that. I mean, honestly, I really started this channel because I was building the live steam locomotive, and which is right here. And I was very fortunate to have a mentor that I could go to his house after work, carry a little bundle of parts, and say, "Is this how this is supposed to look? Is this how it's supposed to fit together?" And he would advise me. So I thought after I was building for a couple of years that, man, I was really fortunate to have somebody like that. And it would be really neat if there was something on YouTube that showed from a real amateur standpoint, like, how do you do this? What does it look like? How does it all fit together? So that's why I'm doing this. And it's really gratifying that people appreciate it and are interested in my project. So thanks again and welcome aboard. So let me show you, tonight I have a little thing. I'm not going to spend a lot of time out here because it's cold and I have work tomorrow and it's kind of late already. So let me show you. And Fred, yes, I need to get a GoPro. So I've got my little camera mount rigged up here. I'm with my iPhone, and I'm going to lay the phone down. And I'm going to show you, well, here's my ball turner. It's upside down. But I want to show how I can make use of a little bit of shop time tonight and set the depth, because I want to set the cutter and the ball turner for being able to turn the little 3/8 inch balls that are on the back, the small end of the corn. These are the blanks for the corn ball handles. And I'm going to start by turn the 3/8 inch ball on the bottom of the ball handles. So because it's 3/8 inch diameter, the cutter needs to be set at the distance, the offset from the well, I'll show you. Let me set the camera up here and I'll explain it a little bit better. Okay, set the camera, it'll quit moving around. And here's the box with the corn parts in it, and I want to show you basically. So the cutter is going to cut like this. It's going to make an arc to cut half of the 3/8 inch ball. Obviously it'll be turning, so that'll cut the other half. That's how that works. Hopefully that makes sense. I don't know if anybody's ever showed or talked about how you set the depth on that, and it's something that's really important to get non-oblong looking balls when you're using a ball turner like this. So let me pull that over again. So because we're doing a 3/8 inch ball, now this writing will probably be upside down for you, but the 3/8 inch ball divided by 2, or 3/8 inch is 0.375 inches, and divide that by 2 and you get 3/16 or 0.1875 inches. Now the center line of the pivot point here, you might not be able to see that, but when I made this is a 3/4 inch aluminum frame, and I remade the center part out of 1/2 inch steel. And when I remade the center part, I left little scribe lines. The center points and the pivots, they're 5/16 of an inch from the end here, okay? So the cutter needs to be 5/16 of an inch plus 3/16 of an inch, okay? 8/16 of an inch, or happily for us, 1/2 of an inch. So what I'm going to do, I've got a little depth mic, and this is a pretty fancy piece of gear for the average hobbyist home shop machinist to have, but I was really fortunate in how I bought a lot of my tools, almost everything I have, I bought secondhand used either locally off of Craigslist or I found it on eBay. And this is one of those things. This is a Lufkin depth micrometer, and the thing, it's very useful for me, perfectly useful for me, but it was very inexpensive because it came in a kit that's incomplete. So anyway, without further ado, let me show you what we're going to do. Is we're going to set the rod to 1/2 inch. All right, so I'm going to crank it out, and it's easy to see when that's 1/2 inch. And I don't know if you can read these numbers on there or not with the camera. The camera is sitting in a little rest on top of my toolbox, and I hope it is somehow legible for you. But okay, so there's the 0 mark. There's it right at 1/2 inch. Okay, and this is not rocket science. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfectly precise, but if you have a chance to make something precise, why not? So then I can set the depth micrometer across the edge here, and then actually I'm going to twist that a little bit because the frame is slightly different. And I take a little hex key, loosen this up. I don't normally do this left-handed. Let me just do it how I would normally do it. Heck, I may reshoot this video now that I think about it. It's going to look awful goofy upside down and sideways, but maybe it'll be useful. So I loosen it up so the cutter can slide back and forth. I've loosened that screw. And now the object is to set this, set the cutter 1/2 inch from the edge of the frame. There we go. So voila, that's all there is to it. So now it's set at the proper depth to give me the 3/8 inch ball. And this is, again, let me illustrate, this is a part of the reason why it's a good idea to make a couple extra blanks. As I mentioned yesterday, I went ahead and made 10 of these small blanks. So I will, certainly have a chance to, hopefully not, but possibly ruin one of them and still come up with a useful batch. So I'm going to just tighten that up a little bit. And so the depth should be set. As you can see, my little homemade ball turner, I got the plans for this off the internet probably 10 years ago, something like that. So anyway, it's very useful. I've made a lot of cool stuff with it. It doesn't look like much. It's very much an amateur tool, but it's produced some pretty good quality stuff. I mean, I made these things with that ball turner, and if you want to see, I did a whole series on these little tri-ball handles that that I made for the Gingrey shaper. So you can produce good quality work. I even used this thing on brass when I was creating some of the valves for my locomotive. So I like this turner. I keep it set in one of these tool holders so that the height is already set here, so I don't have to fiddle with that. This is another important thing. You want the cutter to be, since this is a high-speed steel cutter and it's relieved on both sides like that, you want this to be right at the lathe center line, center height. So we should be all set. I'm going to leave this stuff set just like this for tomorrow. Let me show you on the locomotive. I forgot about, well, didn't forget, but I didn't think I would talk about these, but it was a cool thing. These globe valves, these are the steam valves that I made, and I used the ball turner to turn the round part here. So they came out really nice. Here's the one. This is the quick start valve for the injector, and this one I have put in place for the ejector, for the create vacuum for the the vacuum brakes. So there we have it. I hope that's useful and interesting. Thanks again, and welcome aboard to all the subscribers. And have a good evening. We'll talk to you soon.